All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the webinar on the EDD and Community College Leadership. We're excited that you're interested in our program, and we'll take the next few minutes or so to share some details about it. So, John, you want to introduce yourself first?
Sure. My name is John Melendez. I'm a faculty member in the EDD and Community College Leadership Program here at NJCU. I've been at NJCU for over 35 years in various roles. Prior to joining the faculty, I served as the Vice President for Student Affairs and Enrollment Management here at the university, serving as the Chief Enrollment Management Officer and the Chief Student Development Officer. My background in terms of my preparation includes my PhD in Higher Education Leadership from Seton Hall University. And in addition to the professional experience I've gained over a 35-year administrative career, over the last 4 years, I've been teaching in the master's program in educational leadership, and beginning with this summer in the doctoral program in community college leadership. I think my background lends well from the practitioner scholar perspective. That is a main focus of our program, and I'm looking forward to sharing my experience with all the students that join our program.
Okay, thanks, John. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Christine Harrington. I joined NJCU in January of 2019, but prior to that worked at Middlesex County College for just under 20 years. I worked first as a counselor, providing disability services and general counseling services, working part-time as an adjunct faculty member, and then shifted to the academic side of the house where I taught psychology and first-year seminar on a full-time basis. And also led our Teaching and Learning Center, which was called the Center for the Enrichment of Learning and Teaching at Middlesex County College. I had this really awesome opportunity to work at the state level as the executive director for the Center for Student Success, which was housed at the New Jersey Council of County Colleges. And in this role, I was able to work with all 19 community colleges across the state at helping them improve the success outcomes for students. So that was a great opportunity for me not to just to get the state level expertise, but also to be a part of the national conversation on how to move the needle to improve student success outcomes for all of our students. So I'm thrilled to be here at NJCU and a part of this program now. So for today, this webinar, what we'll do is we'll talk a little bit about the Community College Leadership Program so you can understand what some of the key features are. And then John will describe the admission process and how to find out some more information about the program. So before we get started, I want to bring your attention to the fact that we are thrilled to announce that we are a part of the CPED Consortium. CPED stands for the Carnegie Project on the Educational Doctorate, which means we are a part of this consortium of approximately 110 universities across the nation that are committed to making the EDD different and distinct from the PhD. Not less than, but to make sure that it's focused on what the goals of what the field of practice really requires. So you'll see as you take a look at the program requirements that there are a couple of key elements. One is going to be the emphasis on equity and social justice issues, and the other is going to be very practice focused. And that'll be true not only in the coursework that you take, but you'll see there's a clinical component, and also the research process will as well be very focused on, trying to assist what's happening on the ground in the community college sector. So here are our program goals. I'll just read them briefly to you. We're really trying to develop community college leaders who use an evidence-based approach to decision-making and leadership with a focus on the goal of increased rates of student completion and success. So that's really what our target goal is at all times. In addition, we want to make sure that our leaders promote culturally responsive pedagogical and supportive practices that are grounded in theory and research, and that they engage in partnerships to champion the mission of the community college and lead various reform efforts aimed at reducing equity gaps. And finally, we want our leaders to effectively engage in strategic planning and assessment and clearly communicate vision and data to various stakeholders. So our program, I think, is unique in the way that we are approaching leadership. Some higher ed administration programs are targeting senior level or even presidential level only goals for students, but our program really is designed to try to promote leadership at every level. We firmly believe that in order for institutions to function effectively and to meet the needs of the sector, we're going to have leaders at every level of the institution. So whether you aspire to be the president or a senior level administrator, or whether you're very happy in your faculty role, but you want to be just feel more confident and better equipped to handle leadership roles in that capacity, we're here to support your efforts in that way. So a little bit about the structure. It's an online program, which makes it pretty convenient for working professionals. So all of the work is done, for the most part, asynchronously, which can be done on your own time, as long as you can meet all of the deadlines. There are a few exceptions where we'll have some synchronous live sessions that we bring in national experts for. I'll talk about that in a moment. The only in-person requirement is during the summer. It's usually held a week in July, where there are 4 days. You'll come to New Jersey City University, which is located in Jersey City, New Jersey. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the area, we're, basically a stone's throw from New York City. So it's a great location to go and check out the city, and not far from the beaches either. So it's a great location in that regard. And one of the key elements of that 4-day opportunity, where you get to really get to know the other members of your cohort and the faculty members, is that we host a community college showcase. And this is our signature event. So one of those 4 days, you'll actually be attending a conference. And in addition to being a participant like all of the others, you'll have some elevated roles where we might ask you to serve as a moderator for sessions. And you'll also get the opportunity to interact in some VIP sessions with the keynote presenters. So the online cohort-based approach we think really works well, which means you'll be taking all of the courses together with your entire group of colleagues that start with you. So you'll be starting and finishing within 3 years. It's designed with working professionals in mind. So John and I both know that this is an add-on to your already full lives. You are working professionals and probably have some family and friends that you want to spend time with as well. So we're going to be mindful of that as we plan the program. It's practice focused. So, John and I are here to provide you with opportunities for you to learn in the community college sector. So there's a year-long mentoring and experiential learning component that happens in year 2, where you'll be providing resources and services to a community college in need, while also gaining essential leadership skills. So this, I think, is a kind of signature or key element of our program that we're really proud of, and we do believe that will be one of your favorite parts of participating in this program. In addition, you can expect high levels of support. We know that one of the most significant obstacles or challenges for students in a doctoral program is dissertation. And John and I don't believe that needs to be the case if we're able to be there to support you. So our goal is to provide you with a lot of guidance and mentoring and advisement throughout the entire process. So you'll start actually even in the first summer institute to think about some of the problems of practice that you may want to focus on. And every semester you'll have a research course that is connected to that.
So I just want to emphasize that we're recruiting out for cohort number 2. We began this past summer, and already in this first semester of the fall, that our students are already beginning to explore some of those problems of practice. So early on in the process, from the summer, being exposed to the conference, and then roll right into in your first semester, beginning to help you narrow down areas of potential research.
Great, thanks, John. Clarification. Now, the academic experience, if you're thinking about participating in a doctoral program, you'll probably want to know, what is it going to be like? Well, as we mentioned before, it is an online program. For those of you who aren't familiar with what online learning looks like, there's a variety of learning tasks that you can engage in. The traditional path has been to engage in online discussions, which will certainly be a piece of our program, but our program is not one where you'll be asked to participate in weekly discussions and respond to 2 colleagues. We hope that we're successful at making each week a fresh new approach to learning, so that you'll have a nice combination of online discussions partnered with small group or independent activities. So we think that those kinds of activities are going to be really helpful to just give you an opportunity to learn, from your colleagues as well as from us. One of the other elements of the program that we're pretty excited about is we use our network, so to speak, to bring in national experts. So far this year, we've already brought in probably about 6 national experts, authors of textbooks that we're using, really key figures in the field that are getting to work with our students in a live synchronous session. So you'll, definitely get that benefit as well if you join the program. We think that's a signature element of the online learning experience. And then, of course, John and I also make ourselves available via Zoom. Could be one-on-one meetings with students, or we also have virtual office hours and things of that nature where we're available to meet with small groups of students as well. We take an approach where we're supporting you in the academic environment as well. So you'll see that there's scaffolded assignments. So there's links between the different tasks that you're doing to get you to the end goal at the end of the term, where you're able to complete whatever the task of that course is. So you'll see that there's a strategic, planned kind of design really behind each course. I think you'll find helpful. And then John and I, we've been really very conscious of the fact that you're working professionals and trying to coordinate the way that we are teaching the courses. So this semester, for instance, instead of having assignments due every week, we have an alternating approach. So the course that John is teaching will have assignments due every other week, and so will mine, and they don't land on the same days. And we're trying to be mindful of the bigger, meatier projects to not have those be within the same couple of weeks as best as possible. The other really awesome part is the Summer Institute. Again, we mentioned that's the 4-day learning opportunity in the summer where you get to interact with your colleagues. And we think that's a lot of fun in addition to being a good learning experience. So we bring in, again, national speakers and local experts as well, and also give you a chance to do some team building and getting to know you kinds of exercises. So that's a really great way. And our students have already said to us that they feel so connected to one another, even though this is an online program. So we encourage you to reach out and connect with our students to find out about their learning experience. This is just an overview of the curriculum, and you can take a deeper dive on the website to look at it, but you can see the structure of the program. So it is a 3-year program. You are going to be in class during the summer as well. The summer is a 5-week session though, so you will get breaks in between. So basically that runs like the first week of July approximately to the first week of August. So you'll get a few weeks off before the fall semester kicks in. And then of course you'll get the winter break of January before the spring semester kicks in, and then after spring you get a little bit of a break before the summer session. So you'll get those like approximately a month-long breaks in between each of those 3 semesters. You can see the second year is where the mentoring and experiential learning component comes in. You start in summer 2 with the mentoring and end in summer 3 with that mentoring. And then the dissertation officially begins in spring of year 2, and all students are expected to finish that in spring of year 3. They'll be defending their dissertation that semester. Okay. And this is our fabulous advisory board. We are so incredibly blessed to have these national experts on our team. So you can see the diversity of talents and experiences that they bring to the table. And John and I, we can't even thank them enough because they roll up their sleeves and they help guide us in terms of curriculum and assessments and experiential learning opportunities. So knowing that you have this enormous team behind you, I think really adds value to your experiences. Many of them, I'm sure, will end up serving as mentors for some of you, and you'll likely also probably be able to do some experiential learning at their community colleges as well. So I definitely want to ensure that you know that this is a program that has got strong community college leader support from across the nation.
So the next few slides is really just about the logistics of applying to the program. We begin accepting applications on a rolling basis. For those of you that apply by January 15th, we try to begin the review of the application as soon as possible, but we generally stop accepting applications after April 15th. So that's kind of the hard deadline. And again, if you apply earlier, we're able to bring you in for interviews or to schedule Zoom-based interviews to help move the process forward. So the requirements include an earned master's degree from an accredited institution with a minimum GPA of 3.25. While we technically say we require the GRE is required, it's not if you have at least 5 years of experience in higher ed. We don't really look at the GREs It's more, we look more at a holistic approach when we review the applications. So for those of you that are test phobic, don't let this be an obstacle to applying to the program. We also look for any experience in community colleges or related higher education setting, or even in the K-12 setting. And I should say that currently we have at least 2 members of the first cohort that are in the K-12 environment. And then obviously we look for people that have demonstrated achievement in academic excellence, problem solving, and have an interest in making changes and improvements within the current educational environment.
I'll just add that if you have any questions about whether you need the GRE or whether your experience will suffice, just contact John or I. We're happy to have that conversation, but in most cases, you won't need to do that.
So these are just essentially the checklists that you're going to need to do. So complete the graduate admissions application. It's an online process. And in fact, at the end of this presentation, there is a code that you can use for a waiver on the application fee. You contact your undergraduate and graduate institutions to submit transcripts to us. If you have not worked in higher ed, then you would need to do the GRE. But if you have experience in higher ed, it's likely that that will be waived. 3 letters of recommendations, preparing a personal statement is an important element, because that kind of gives us an opportunity to see how you see yourself fitting in with this program, and also to look at what some of your professional and long-term goals are. We also like to see your current resume or CV. That allows us, again, to see what your own development has been within education and in professional experiences. And then finally, we conduct interviews of individuals either in person or through video conferencing. In terms of the cost, we believe that we're one of the most affordable graduate tuition rates in the Northeast. We're currently at $927 a credit. So for the 55 credit program, it's just under $51,000. We're proud to announce also that what you begin with as your tuition charge of $927 is the same for the 3 full years that you're in the program. So when you come in, you know what your tuition is going to be throughout the program, which I think is a unique feature of our program. All our students are eligible to apply for Title IV aid, primarily through federal direct unsubsidized loans and or the PLUS loan programs and private loan programs. Most of our students, many of our students, I should say, are taking advantage of tuition reimbursement programs through their institutions or through their employment. And so most of them are using a combination of financing through tuition reimbursement and minimizing their reliance on student loans. So this is the information you need if you're interested in getting more information on the program or applying. So you can find us at www.njcu.edu/CCL doctorate. You could begin your application. You can save it, come back to it. If you use the code CCL19, you'll also receive a fee waiver on the $55 application fee. And both Dr. Harrington and myself are available. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at charrington1@njcu.edu or jmelendez@njcu.edu, and we can schedule a conversation on phone or again using some video conferencing technology.
All right, well, we're really excited that you had expressed some interest, and we hope that you stay connected. So that our admissions office obviously is a great partner and another place to make sure you register and get on our mailing list so that you're aware of what's coming up, including our community college showcase, as well as information about our program. So thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to hopefully getting to talk to you again at some point in the near future. Thanks.